Discovery? Did you have a discovery? No?
Oh, just, okay, the only discovery I have is everything that goes up, the opposite has to go down.
Yeah.
The other circle.
Well, that's one way of taking a circle, yes.
Go up, the other one has to go down to balance it, otherwise you can't do it.
Do you hear that? And we are a three-dimensional beings. And it's amazing how in our self-image, how much of the time we can leave dimension out of it. And it can be significant, as you found. Three-dimensional. So if I only think I can move this side, then I do something to keep this out of my image, to keep it from contributing. So movement is much more difficult. Anyone else notice their dimension changing? Sense of dimension. Sense of themselves as a dimensional being. Three-dimensional. Hold on, sorry. Yeah, I think. Oh, I think it's from the. I don't know. Up or down, Jenny? Up? Okay, it's up. Thank you.
Thank you. Is that working?
Sorry, I haven't got your name yet, though. Can you
Marissa, sorry.
Marissa.
No, I was just going to say, just with lifting the arm, that at the beginning, even though we've done quite a few ATMs now, I still just lifted my arm with no other response really, much throughout the rest of my body. But at the end, I really felt like I wanted to rotate and to lengthen on that side and to shorten on the other side, and just, using so much more of my body in those three sort of dimensions.
Thank you. Great. I used to be one of those poster boards, billboards, people in the street that cardboard on one, but there was nothing in the middle. There was just cardboard on one side and cardboard on the other. And I didn't know it until I knew it, something else. I didn't know that that's governed all my movements.
That ties in with what I was just going to say. You don't know until you know, because I found that 18 was fabulous, and yet at the end of it, when we had to do the circles on the ground, I got lost, completely lost. And that's happened before to me. And then, so I sat there, and at the end, I wrote in my book, try to figure out why you get lost. Did you get lost because your ears didn't hear the instruction? Is it my ears that are not hearing the instruction? Or is it my head not understanding instruction? Or is it my body? And that's what I wrote in my book before I went to lunch. We've come back and you've just given me the answer, which I kind of sort of figured out during lunch, because I went, no, I heard the instruction. I understood it. This whole thing, though, didn't come to the party. And it's what you said. It's, when you're not doing it, what part of your 3D dimension's not in it? And there was a whole lot of it not in it. So, yeah.
And it's, as Christine and I were talking about earlier, she liked the word scotoma. And that's the word Moshe uses often for the blind spots we have. So scotoma is a visual blind spot in your visual field. And he says that we all have scotomas. Scotomas in our kinesthetic sense that we just have no idea that we have until, yep.
Do you know where he got that word from?
Would you like to tell us? No, Bates? No, okay. You know where he got it from? I suspect I do too.
It's an ophthalmological term, so I'm an optometrist, and we use scotoma to identify areas in the visual field where you can't see or can't perceive.
Yeah. And Moshe studied a lot of people's work. Bates, the people with eye exercises, Julie probably talked about that. And so he was very knowledgeable, and he would use metaphors that I think were, or analogies that were, made you go, somehow you got it, blind. I'm blind there. Thank you.
I got how blind. So,
say that again?
How blind. So I have a particular part of me that doesn't function or isn't part quite, and I got a little bit more of the edges of it, and that's...
Oh, outlined.
the little outline of the blind spot, well, the part that you're saying is not there. This bit's not there. How much isn't there? Oh, this much. How much have we got? We've got that. Then it drops out. What else can I do? So it's like I don't intend to suddenly have a vision and get it all. It's just like, oh, how can I play with this bit? And I think the other reason that his words make you go bingo is because he has a sensory experience and his knowledge is kinesthetic, not intellectual. So when he uses terms like scotoma, I think he actually knows what that feels like. And so when he speaks, it goes clang into you're able to understand it far more easily because that's the knowledge base that it's grounded in, which makes me really excited.
Yeah.
When we look at a visual field, there are different areas, and it's exactly how you said, how much of it is actually lost because it's all graded. It's not all just
clear
yes and no. There's levels. Yeah.
Levels of clarity in different parts of the visual field. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Jenny, do you want to... We're going... We'll come back, but I just want to... Before I forget.
Okay, it's great to see you all back again. Now, I've brought back some other things that were here last time too. There's a few items of clothing and a water bottle. Please check if they are things that you recognise, because it would be great if they went to your house, not mine. I also have receipts for you, for those of you who have paid between now and last time, which I'll give you over the next couple of days. And by about afternoon tea time, I will have worked out the FI schedule. Now, a couple of you specially requested lunchtime lessons, and on Tuesday and Thursday each week, we will have some lessons at lunchtime, and we encourage those of you who've got enough brain space to take that opportunity just to start to kind of sit and absorb the shape, the pattern, the rhythm, the sort of interaction that goes on without trying to understand what's happening. Do not take notes. But just get a feel of what does it look like when somebody's giving a lesson to somebody else, because that's what's going to serve you to draw on in the future. So I'll let you know who's got lessons tomorrow, and then I'll have a printed out sheet for you to check with. If there's any particular evening, the rest of the lessons will be after class as a rule. If there's any particular evening you can't stay, let me know and I'll try and work around that as well.
There's nothing on the final Friday, is there?
The final day's a Saturday.
Oh, sorry, the final Saturday.
No. And apart from that, please remember at the end of the day that you may wash your cup through that door with the silver bits on. There's a sink just around the corner. And when you come back, come through the other door because it swings the other way.
You can't get through the indoor. You've got to get out through the outdoor. I love that.
Really?
Yeah. You can't go in through the wrong door.
Oh, yeah, because they only swing one way. Yes. And so it stops you getting cracked in the nose by someone coming the other way.
How do you know which is which? Whichever one won't go.
Yes,
well, the one
that has the easiest movement.
It's specially designed for Feldenkrais students. But there's a clue. It's got a big shiny silver push bar on it.
Which it should have a handprint.
Well, by tonight it'll have several. Okay. I think that's all I need to tell you at the moment.
Thanks.
Can I ask you a question?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Do you bring the books again?
Yes, I will bring the books and bits and pieces one day during the week. Not sure which day, but certainly I will have those things here.
Can we leave our things in the room?
Yes. You can leave your things in the room. As much as possible, if you can keep your stuff by the edge. We will, I've discovered, have this whole extra room for the duration of the time here. Tomorrow, I'm told there'll be somebody in the little room next door, but we won't hear them and hopefully they won't hear us. So, as far as I'm aware, we've got this space for the whole of this week and up until Wednesday. And then we have to pack ourselves up and shift down the road back to Bourne. So we'll talk more about that next week. Okay?
Okay. Thank you. So, it's me figuring out timing. I will give you the opportunity to ask questions about this ATM series. We might do it tomorrow, the questions about it. So, I'm going to demonstrate a process which you're going to do in groups of 3 and rotate. And you'll have, hopefully, 10 minutes each, and we'll finish with an ATM again today. Okay? Is there somebody who's willing to be the subject for the, yeah, demonstrate? Okay. So we'll just go here. And I need a colleague. And you can sit facing that way for me. So I need someone. So I need someone for my group of 3, please. Ruth? Oh, do you want to help me? Yeah? Okay, so have we got numbers for 3s, Jenny? It's okay, Ruth, thank you.
No, we've got
25? 8. 5 3s, okay, 7. Okay, 1 extra. So could you sit inside sitting, please? So, Danielle, can you come around here? We might just move your cup and your shoes. Okay. Now, you comfortable to bring your right arm up around your head? Okay, fantastic. And then come back. So what we're looking at is where she moves a lot, where we see a lot of movement and maybe where we don't see much movement. Okay, so I'm going to ask her, and she's chosen how to position her legs. Can you do that again? Come back. Is that the easiest side to have your legs, Yana? Are you not sure? Could you just do that, stay on the other side and do it slowly so we can check? So you're going to ask questions to your partner. Okay. So you still think it's the easiest side? Okay. So how could we help her know whether it was easier or not? Any ideas? You want to try the other way again? You got any ideas?
Perhaps we could ask her to pay attention to her hips.
Mm-hmm. Because what do we see that she's moving a lot there?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So we've observed that she moves a lot in a particular place. So now I'm going to put my hands on. Actually, maybe could you put your hands on where you feel? So what the third person is going to do is help get this person comfortable so that they can follow the movement. So, Yona, now could you bring your hand round your head? Uh-huh. Okay. So, and come back. Danielle, let's just try another different position. Can you come more behind her? Can you sit like her, maybe? Can you sit with your legs the same way? Okay. Okay. Can you reach hers? No. Oh, yes, there she goes. There we go. Okay. So now I'm just going, and Yona, can you do the movement again? Okay. So we might do that a couple of times. If Danielle was uncomfortable, I could try and figure out something that I could help her with that could make her more comfortable. Okay. Okay, rest a moment, Yana. Now, did you notice anywhere where she didn't move so much? Was there another place that I saw?
Well,
And we
I
mean,
mean, my thought, which is not exactly the answer to your question, was, is she uncomfortable, possibly, because I am a little bit, with this unsupported?
Uh-huh.
And if she had a bit of cushioning under there,
okay.
might that make her...
We got rollers.
Like that,
Towel.
or just that scarf. I'm just...
Yeah, trying. Yeah, it's good. So we're not sure if it's going to make any difference, but we're just trying something out. So can you do that again? Bring your hand around your head. So interesting, she goes away from it.
Yes.
Okay, but I could see if she was to sit still, does it feel different, more comfortable with the towel there when you're sitting still? Do you notice?
I think we'd have to find the exact
height.
Actually,
I agree.
It's kind of pinching into my hip.
Yes.
The way that it's
So that's... So I'm going to try. Just, can you come up on your knees? Just move up. Yep. And now do the movement. So you're not helping them, you're just following them, which means your hands become like a second skin, and you've got to be in a position where you can maintain the contact. It's not like you're a passenger in a car that's falling out the back door. You're in the car, you're along for the ride, and you're moving with them. Okay, so just take your hands off. So it may or may not be.
I feel like it gives me more options.
Yeah, more options? Okay. Now so you're going to choose between this part of the movement and looking for a place that moves more or less. So watching them do it. Or, can you put your hand around your head? Again, same hand if that's comfortable. And take your elbow down towards the floor. I'm going to come and sit with you so that we can see. Come back a little bit. You come back a little bit. In this action, where does she move a lot? That's it. And come back. So we might just do that much. So can you come back a bit? Yeah. Good. We'll take it out. It's clear. So we're just going to confer here. Or we could ask, Yana, where do you feel you move a lot? Or that participates a lot in the action?
Oh, I feel like it sort of starts at the pelvis.
Uh-huh.
And like rotates through and always just sort of follows on
Yes.
through. I feel like there's like maybe a blind patch around here somewhere.
Uh-huh.
And then it becomes a bit clear again up here. But I feel like my scapula is still moving, but maybe not as much as it could.
Okay, so she could, if you ask, some people do have a really accurate sense of how they can move. So then we could do two things. We could, again, put our hands on the place where she moves a lot. And it's actually for her, with her, it's a little difficult. Go again. Yep. And go down towards the floor. Because it's actually in her hip joints. Can you see that? And it's on her, how her legs change their pressure, but it's very much in the hip joints, so maybe I'll use the pelvis. What do you think? We could try, and then I get myself in a position. Mm-hmm. And do that several times, and have a rest. You're allowed to have a rest. And then...
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why she wasn't maybe... I had thought that, and it was interesting that she confirmed that.
Okay. Would you like to try and organise yourself to follow her movement there? I'll help you.
I mean, my sense is that stillness there is related to the sense that Yana has that her scapulars could move more, or one of them could move more. So I've got an intuition to use both hands rather than just one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Okay, so Yana, could you bring your hand behind And take your elbow down, your shoulder as though. Okay, and come back. So is it hard for you?
No.
No? Easy?
Yep.
Okay. So you could do a little less, Yona? Am I saying your name right? Yona. I get it eventually. That's nice.
There is some movement there.
Yeah, I can see it coming, actually, where I didn't
And I
see
can
so
feel
much
it in
before.
my thumbs.
Yeah?
You know, my thumbs are moving relative to each other.
Okay.
See, this one's going quite a lot further forward.
All right. So, thank you.
I know that it wasn't there before because it made me feel a bit sick.
I think you should definitely get that recorded. Thank you.
Yeah. Can we? Just because other people will feel nauseous
I just-
sometimes.
So I know that it was, I was right, it wasn't there before because when we highlighted it, it made me feel a bit sick as it came into my spatial awareness.
Thank you. So, thank you, Yona. You're going to work in threes. One person is you're going to rotate roles. One person's going to do, you can do this action first, then you can start to move down towards the floor and see what's involved. Ask them first. Then you're not going to have a conversation about it, but between the two of you, you're going to observe, put your hands on and follow the area of them that you feel moves the most, area that moves the least, and help one another to be able to organise so that you can follow their movement. Okay? Any questions? And call Ruth, Jenny or I over if you have. And so maybe if Amanda and Christine go, in a group, not with each other, with somebody else. Yeah? Okay. So you're going to have 20 minutes.
How many people?
Three.
How many people do we do in that?
3.
Thank you. 5 minutes each.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just need to know the little...
That's good. No, thank you. My mind was still calculating. Thanks, Yana. So how are you going? Can I use you, Priscilla? So, could you pause for a minute? Just want to clarify. You may or have already got this, or you may have not. But this exploration is connected to the ATMs you've been doing this morning, right? So could you sit in that position? So Priscilla said she had difficulty this morning in the ATM, and she said she had difficulty now. It felt like she got jammed in the hip joints. So in thinking about that, because I didn't underline that it was connected to the ATM, didn't necessarily give you license, although some of you may have already done it. So when you're ready, so do it the way you were doing it this morning. So here, two things. The direction that she's going in, we can see that she's going in this direction, and her left hand is not supporting her at all. So all the work is being done by her lower back and the closing of her hip joints. So we looked at where could we find the position and how could she sink more of her elbow, her shoulder, and then sweeping, so that there's a turning of the trunk, her shoulders, and as her pelvis starts to roll, her legs can lengthen easily. So if you get caught in terms of what might make a difference if the person's saying it's difficult, think about the bigger context, the direction. Now, maybe you don't know because it was difficult for you and you couldn't find the direction, but maybe between the two of you, you can find out. You know, is there something about the trajectory, something about how she's using the ground, some other factor that would make a difference? Thank you. Okay?